Today, the Kart Indy cars bounce and roar in Long Beach, California. The fastest cars on the planet in their season premiere. Today on Speed World. And it's brought to you by Toyota's exciting cars and trucks for 1984. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. By Quaker State, today you need an oil this good. You need Quaker State. By Monroe Shock Absorbers, makers of the Gasmatic, the most advanced shock Monroe has ever made. And by Old Milwaukee and Old Milwaukee Light. It doesn't get any better than this. The periscope scoop of a Formula 5000 car peeked over a rise in a sleepy Long Beach the first time in 1975. Now, it's the Kart Indy cars on the same roads in a boomtown as their scream echoes off the hull of the majestic Queen Mary. Because it's race day in Southern California. Well, these are the folks that get a free view of the Long Beach Grand Prix from the balconies and the windows overlooking the course. Over 55,000 have paid to be here. No one on the beaches today. They're all in the grandstands alongside Shoreline Drive. But one name being whispered up and down the main straightaway, that of Paul Newman. Chandler moves fast.
Mario into turn one. The car of his is just working flawlessly. He doesn't have any trouble. They're not going to touch him all day, Paul.
Now here comes Michael Chandler around for the first time in third place. He's out and around Derek Daly, and little Al Unser begins to challenge Daly as well. So Daly, who started in second place, is having his problems.
Yes, look how Chandler pulls away on those little short straightaways when he gets in that throttle. It just leaps away from the other cars.
Of course, the car is a Dan Gurney Eagle. It's different than last year's. There's some new designing on it. A beautiful machine and some wonderful engineering by Dan Gurney, who wants a car that is all-American, the American stock block, American chassis.
Well, of course, Dan Gurney's operation is all-American racers. Here we have Teo again going into that bad bump transitioning. There's Michael Chandler. See that car jump? That is really bad. It's going to break some cars, I'm afraid.
Well, John, we do have a report that the problem with the Ligier is a broken half shaft, and that's just the kind of thing that can cause it, a bump like that. Mike Andretti now around both Roberto Guerrero and Jeff Brabham and begins to challenge Al Unser Jr. There is the lead, Andretti. Second place is Teo Fabi, and third place is Michael Chandler. They're evenly spaced. Here's the battle for fourth. Daly, Unser, and young Mike Andretti.
You know, Paul, I wonder if there's something wrong with Daly's car, if it's not quite handling or running properly, because he's been steadily moving backwards.
Well, Al drives him on the inside. Mike closes in. Mike Andretti's car has been running particularly well here in the early going. Guerrero comes around Jeff Brabham and closes in behind Mike Andretti now.
You know, this tight part of the course where the things can really jump off of the turn across those straightaways is a lot of fun to watch and see these cars very close like this.
Well, Derek Daly has his hands full holding off Al Unser Jr., and Mike Andretti is ready to attack right behind. This is a battle for fourth place. Daly, remember, started in second position on the front row, but he's had to hold off a challenge and lost to both Fabi and Chandler, and now appears to be losing the battle to Little Al.
Well, Little Al certainly putting the pressure on. You can see him come across that bump, heading for this tight turn, going back out onto the front straightaway. Al should be ready to do something here if he's going to get her done.
The first car out, Kevin Cogan's Ligier. Now, Kevin Cogan is with Gary Gerald.
Paul, here's Kevin Cogan, who came back on a motorcycle, not the way he wanted to come back to the pits. I understand it was a half-shaft problem, Kevin.
Right. Coming out of the hairpin, I think that this car, I'm having used a lot of clutch, and I think I was putting quite a beating on it. We broke the left one yesterday, and the right one broke now.
I know it has to be disappointing. You have a new team, a new car. You had high hopes kind of here in your hometown area, but there's a lot of races left in this season, and I know the development will continue, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the most important races just because it is close to home, but there's 15 more races, which is unique, so we got a lot more to make it up in.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, thanks.
Cogan not the only one with early problems. Here's Jose Garza. The corner marshals reported a little smoke at the back of his car, and now he coasts toward the pits. Out on the course, this battle for fourth place between Daly, Unser, and Andretti continues, and Mario Andretti continues his lead. We'll be back. The 800 is still the leader. Here comes Teo Fabi, a March in second place, and a Dan Gurney All-American Eagle in third. Derek Daly is in fourth. Michael Andretti got around Little Al Unser just before we joined you, and is now beginning to push on Derek Daly. Daly
Daly may have a problem with the car. He is certainly having a problem getting around this course. He's throwing the car back and forth. You can see as he pitches through the hairpin right out to the wall. And Emerson Fittipaldi has moved up to 8th place now. But here's the battle for 4th.
Yes, little Andretti went back by Daly. You know, I can't help but believe that there's something wrong with Daly. But there he goes back by Andretti.
Now let's see, can Daly hold him off? He does. Daly goes back into 4th place. Andretti drops into 5th. And Roberto Guerrero is sitting up in 6th place now as he charges up through the field, comes around Little Al.
You know, Little Al Unser has been up front charging with the leaders, and now he's working his way back. So maybe the tires are doing something a little different, and each guy changes tires and has a problem.
Here is that fight still for 4th place. It's Derek Daly and Mike Andretti. Daly currently occupying 4th, but they've seesawed back and forth. There's Roberto Guerrero. Johnny, this is a car that he wrecked yesterday and has been rebuilt by Mo Nunn and George Vignotti overnight. Here comes Little Al.
Yes, Paul, Guerrero's car, they had a new car in the truck, but it just wasn't to the point where they could be ready to go with it, so they had to repair the car they crashed.
Of course, if they had gone to the backup car, then they would have had to go into the back of the grid. Al Unser was forced with that decision and did start in the back because they went to the backup car. Mike Andretti comes down the pit road, and Mike Andretti is in. Remember, he was as high as 4th. This is not a scheduled stop. The crew is there, and Mike Andretti is in for a stop. Roberto Guerrero on the charge. You see the pink number 47. That is Emerson Fittipaldi.
Yes, that's the car that Teo Fabi drove last year and had such great success with. Looks like Emerson is doing the same thing.
Not success here. Michael Andretti down off the jacks. They fueled the car. They looked it over, made a left front change. The complaint is vibration. Roberto Guerrero way out to the side, but Emerson Fittipaldi gets around and closes in behind Little Al. The problem with Michael Andretti. Bruce Jenner, get down there, see if you can find out what the problem is.
You know, Emerson Fittipaldi is an old smoothie. He's the kind of guy that'll sit there and hammer on you all day if he needs to. And he's moved in behind Little Al, and he's going to put the pressure on.
Now, Emerson Fittipaldi has been in retirement for a number of years, John, since 1980. Do you think that affects him here?
Well, I'm sure it has, but it doesn't look much like it. In fact, there you see his tire smoking as he hard brakes to get into that hairpin. Emerson Fittipaldi is twice world champion, and he's no stranger to racing, so he'll get the cobwebs out in this race.
Emo has been spectacular here. Literally throws the car all around the course. He is really quite a driver to watch as he closes again on Little Al. There goes Roberto Guerrero, number 9, into the pits. This is not a scheduled stop either. A problem here. And Gary Gerald is there. Gary?
Well, ironically, we had just checked in this pit. They had been very pleased with the performance on the part of the Colombian Roberto Guerrero. But signs of overheating now as we see some smoke from the back boiling out underneath the bodywork. They're conferring with Roberto. No attempt to refuel. Now one of the cart officials has come up with water. They're going to try to cool that power plant, that area back in around the fuel tank. And in fact, one extinguisher has been popped. A little more water in there. Steam off the back of the car. No indication of what the problem is yet for Roberto Guerrero.
On the circuit, the battle continues for 4th place. Derek Daly currently occupies 4th, but Little Al is pushing him hard. They come up behind Dick Simon, the number 22 car. He's one of the back, and Daly almost loses it, corrects it. There's Fittipaldi right in behind. Dick Simon is one of the back markers as the leaders begin to string around through the field now. There's Derek Daly.
Yes, he went by, as you saw, Simon there, but he's there. Look at this dicing for this position. Little Al nearly got trapped behind Simon there and let Fittipaldi by.
Fittipaldi definitely pushing. The fire is still a problem on Guerrero's car. You saw the cart official, Billy Camphausen, pour water on the methanol fuel. If you dilute methanol down about 30%, it won't catch fire. That's what they were doing. There's Mario Andretti, the leader, the Red Rocket, well out in front. Here comes that green machine of Teo Fabi in 2nd place. Michael Chandler is currently in 3rd. This is the battle for 4th. Derek Daly, Al Unser Jr., and Emerson Fittipaldi.
Little Al is putting a lot of pressure on Daly now. There they go over that bump. That thing really is something to see the cars jump over that. Little Al trying to maneuver to get in the right spot so he can get by Daly.
A tremendous fight. The fans here at Long Beach are enjoying it, especially seeing the Formula One drivers return, especially in the person of Emerson Fittipaldi, who has decided this season he will do with cars. Little Al closes closing down. Daly able to get away on the straightaways, but here comes Fittipaldi and little Al Fittipaldi to the inside. The approach to the first turn under braking. They hold their positions. But this is the key fight on the circuit. Mike Andretti, with his problems, heads back for the pits once again. Let's go down to Bruce Jenner.
Michael Andretti has been running so well all day long, but he continues to have tire problems. Again, he comes back into the pit, stops right there, and his Graco team works on the car. He shakes his head no. Something's obviously wrong, so they're going to change all 4 tires this time. They're just going to go with the 3 tires. They're going to keep the right rear off, the right front tire on. He's looking around at the rest of it, trying to find out. He's pointing out to that tire. He's saying it just isn't working right. Now he's changing his mind. He's telling him to lift up the hood. Something's obviously wrong with Michael Andretti's car right now. It's too bad. He started out back in the pack and has slowly worked his way up, got around Derek Daly. Now he's trying a little bit more wing inside the car. Now he's going to get back out. Michael Andretti continues to have problems.
Bruce, we also saw Jose Garza come back out after a lengthy stop. Here is that continuing battle for 4th place. Derek Daly in number 17 holds on to it, but little Al and Emerson Fittipaldi are knocking at the door, and Jeff Brabham is sitting just back about 100 yards.
You know, Jeff Brabham's no stranger to road racing, Paul. He was the Can-Am champion a few years back, so he's another one to be contended with here.
Well, we have quite a serial of road racers. Number 17, Derek Daly, former teammate to Keke Rosberg in the Williams team. Little Al Unser, the 1982 Can-Am champion, and of course the pink number 47 is Emerson Fittipaldi. He is twice world champion. Now remember, this is the battle for 4th place. Out in front, Mario Andretti second, Dale Fabi, and Mike Chandler is in third. They are all evenly spaced and running alone. Jose Garza, number 55, back several laps. He had that lengthy pit stop. They brought him in. They found his spark plug wires were melted. They replaced them. They have sent him back out again, and he's back and running at speed. A man with problems of heat is Roberto Guerrero. Here's Gary.
Roberto, obvious disappointment. Do you have any idea how the fire started?
Well, something went wrong in the engine. It suddenly started misfiring. It wouldn't run anymore. We don't know exactly yet what happened, but, you know, something wrong with the engine.
Do you think it had anything to do with the fact that they had to work so hard all night long to get the car ready to come back out again today?
Well, we don't know. We have to wait and see. I mean, the car was running perfectly until then. You know, I was taking my time, making everything was fine, and all of a sudden the engine just stopped running cleanly, and then I had to come into the pit.
Well, I know there's disappointment in the first IndyCar start, but it worked very well for a time. I'm sure that has to be encouraging as far as the whole season is concerned.
Yes, I think, you know, we proved that we have a team that can do the job, and so we just have to look forward to the next races.
Thank you, Roberto.
Thank you.
All right, let's go back now to the Michael Andretti pit and Bruce Jenner. Michael Andretti continues to have problems. They've changed all the tires. There's a vibration in the car, and they can't quite figure out exactly where it is. Now they're going to take the front wing, and they're going to take it off and put the other wing on. While he's in, they're going to put him up with more fuel. Again, they're trying to take that front nose off and change the front wing.
Now Derek Daly and little Al have gotten away from Emerson Fittipaldi, but continue their fight for 4th place. That's Daly in front. Here comes little Al on the charge, under braking alongside Daly, and Al now moves into 4th place for Al Unser Jr.
That's incredible. We haven't seen any passing there all day, Paul. And little Al evidently has his car really operating because he did a clean job on him.
One of the key places on the circuit after that Seaside Way straight. A right-hand turn. And look at Al pull away now as he begins to pour on the power. And Daly drops back again. So Al now in hot pursuit of the 3rd place car of Michael Chandler.
You know, Paul, I've been watching Mario Andretti. He's got to be awfully happy with that new Lola T800. That car is really working well. The crew's done a magnificent job. Look how it goes over these bumps. Very smooth, wonderful race car.
And while Mario Andretti is the dominant force in the front of the pack, Michael Andretti, his son, is still in the pits. A lengthy pit stop. Looks like the car is burning. I believe it's steam, though. Let's go to Bruce.
Actually, it's not burning right now. What's happening is they sprayed some, and they just shut the engine down. Not a good sign. They're spraying water on the coolant, on the radiators to try to cool the engine down as much as they possibly can while it sits there because there's no air running through it.
If those wings are the problem. They get the nose change. It should correct the problem for Michael Andretti, but he is well back off the lead. Here is your leader, Mario Andretti, car number 3, about 9 seconds out in front of the second-place car now of Teo Fabi. A smooth Sunday afternoon drive for Mario Andretti. Here comes Fabi into the first turn, number 33. It is a march out in front. The 77 Long Beach champion in Formula One, Mario Andretti, also the first pole sitter here. The production engine continues to roar for Michael Chandler in third place. Andretti about 10 seconds out in front of Fabi. Let's go to the pit.
Jeff Brabham coming in, the second Graco car. He's pointing to the left front tire. The car still in gear. The back wheels are spinning. Trying to get a little bit of water. It's a warm day here at Long Beach. And they've completely refueled, putting a left front on and both rear tires. Michael Andretti right behind him still is in the pits.
A busy time in the Craco pits as both cars are in now, Jeff Brabham and Michael Andretti. The crew continuing their action on Brabham's car. It's down off the jack, and Brabham slow pickup on the clutch, but finally accelerates away. Michael Andretti stays in. They continue to work on his car. His father, Mario Andretti, still leads this race. Now a 10-second margin over the second-place machine of Teo Fabi.
You know, this is the second year for the Lola, and it reminds me a great deal of the Chaparral that I used to drive in 1979 when it was brand new. The car really wasn't all that good, and it got sorted out in 1980 and it was perfect. Well, this is the second year for the T800 Lola, and Mario is showing everybody what it can do, and it's a fine race car.
So Mario Andretti has a superlative lead over Teo Fabi, and Michael Chandler is in third. We'll be back with more of the Long Beach Grand Prix after these messages from your local station. Of Long Beach. This is Paul Page with Johnny Rutherford, Gary Gerald, and Bruce Jenner. Mario Andretti is still the leader. His son, Michael, was in for a lengthy pit stop. They changed the nose on his car and have sent him back out, though he is well behind the leader, Serial. Let's go to his pits and Bruce Jenner.
This is the problem that Michael Andretti's been having with his car. This is the front end that they just took off. Now you can see these adjustment bolts down in here, and they'll adjust the wing out here to make it, to get the right airflow over, to give them the downforce they possibly want. But look what happens when I move the wing. See how the whole adjustment is moving along with it? That should not move. It should be firm, and that's the vibration that Michael was getting when he was out there on the racetrack.
So, Johnny Rutherford, if that repair has been made, then the car should run right now.
Yes, it should. The only hope that he has is that it wasn't hurt when he sat there for so long with the engine running and it overheated.
There's his teammate, Jeff Brabham. Now, remember, he made a stop as well and is well behind the leader, Serial. The number 7 machine is Al Unser Jr. He is currently running in 4th place. Right behind him, number 47 is Emerson Fittipaldi. There is Teo Fabi, currently in 2nd. But in front of him, something we seldom see. The Penske team, 2 brand new PC-12s. They are currently running 15th and 16th.
That's unusual for them, as you said, Paul. Al Unser waving Teo Fabi by there, moving over for him. That's a sign of a champion. He knows he's got problems. He's not going to hold up Teo.
Well, both Penske cars have had oil pickup problems in the practice. They're not sure what the problem is. It's a new oil tank right at the back of the car, and it's not doing its job properly. They thought they had it fixed, but the way the cars are running now, it could be a problem. Teo Fabi running very strong, though he is well back from the leader, Mario Andretti.
Boy, you could really see that bump there as Teo went over it. I'm really surprised it hasn't taken its toll on more cars, Paul.
Several of the cars have made stops right on their schedule, right on their game plan. There is Teo Fabi as he now heads down into the pits. Pick him up, Gary Gerald.
First opportunity for Barry Green and the Forsythe crew to go to work now as Teo Fabi, the man who made the sensational run for the championship last year, makes his first stop. It appears to be routine. It'll be fresh rubber on the back, also on the left front, topping off with fuel. He had an incident in practice early this week. No indication of any handling problems thus far in the race. He'd been running second at the time of his stop, and Fabi is away.
Just the way they planned it as Teo Fabi back into the action. The question mark now this car. Mario Andretti, he is out in front. He is carrying the car a bit further than most of the scheduled stops. When will he stop? Gary Gerald can move down to his pit, perhaps get a report for us, but it is Mario Andretti that is out in front, and he is building up enough of a lead now that it is possible that he can stop and not relinquish the lead.
checking in with Mario Andretti's crew. Darrell, it appears that Mario's running very comfortably. Any problems, any concerns on the crew's part this early?
Well, there's no problems at the moment. We're just all hoping that this thing's going to run the whole distance, that's all.
Is fuel consumption going to be a concern with the Lola crew?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a concern with everybody.
And when will that show up? Do we have to wait until the first stop to get an idea on what kind of mileage you're getting?
Well, I don't think we're going to know for sure until the end of the race, to be honest.
All right. So even though it looks like things are running well with Mario Andretti, there is some concern. We're just going to have to wait to see how this business of fuel consumption progresses through the afternoon.
Well, as we wait for the leader, Mario Andretti, to make his stop, the key battle on the circuit is this fight for sixth. Derek Daly, who started in second, has continued to fall backward, is now being challenged by Jim Crawford and John Paul Jr. Crawford, a rookie from Formula 2 and Formula 3, and John Paul Jr., the winner of the Michigan 500 last year.
You know, John Paul's trying to make a move there, and he does get on the inside of Crawford, and he gets by him. But they get a run off the corner, and Crawford has the line and gets going.
Better line off the corner, least resistance. Crawford accelerates now. Daly takes advantage of it, continues in sixth place as Crawford and John Paul Jr. battle for seventh. Crawford, can he hold off John Paul Jr.? John Paul Jr. drops into seventh place, but Crawford really making a spectacular showing here in his first IndyCar race.
Yes, that's right, Paul. You know, this course, a lot of these guys have run on before in the smaller cars, as you said. But to watch these guys maneuver around these very tight turns and to see this racing is very exciting.
You know, Darrell Soppe mentioned their concern for fuel on the car. Normally they have plenty of fuel to make the distance. But, Johnny, many of the teams have put their cars on rich. That is, they're dumping more fuel into the turbochargers so that they have fuel when they come off the slow corners and can accelerate better.
Yes, that's true, Paul. It gives them effect where they get down in the turns, the car is rich, it builds up the turbo. When they get back in, they get somewhat of an explosion, spins the turbo a little harder, and it gets going faster for them.
There's another thing we don't ordinarily see as well. Gordon Johncock, the lead driver in the Patrick team, and he is well off the pace. John Paul Jr. and Crawford both almost lose it, recover it coming off the hairpin. Good piece of driving by both young men. We were saying Gordon Johncock well at the back. Apparently something wrong in his gearbox, and he is just hanging in there.
Yes, you know, Paul, last year Gordy and I were teammates. Of course, I was hurt in Indianapolis. Gordy hurt himself at Michigan in the 500-mile race there, and he's just now, this is his first race back since that accident. He had something like 18 screws and 2 steel plates in his right ankle. So I'm sure that's not any trip to Paris for him, but right now he's out there doing the best job he can with what he's got.
Gordon Johncock, the number 20 car, still holding on. The battle is for sixth place. Derek Daly occupies it at the moment. John Paul Jr. just moments ago got around Jim Crawford, and they are both challenging Derek Daly. A tough fight here for sixth place. Up at the front of the pack, it is still Mario Andretti leading this field. We're waiting for his stop. We are also now expecting a stop from the Penske team. Al Unser heads down to the pits. Let's go to Bruce.
Al Unser, senior, into the pits, wearing number 1, national champion from last year. He's coming into the pits. He's been in the back of the pack all day long. He hasn't made his move. He's taking on three tires, a left front and rear tires. A little bit of smoke coming from the back end of the car, but it doesn't seem to be anything major. He's got a little bit of oil dripping down right near the crankcase, and so they're looking at that, checking it out as the pits. Now they're stopping. They're going to tell him to turn it off. Al Unser shuts it down.
Well, there's the problem, oil dripping from the underside of the engine. The same problem they've had in the practice. That's that new oil tank. Apparently, they're not getting good pickup out of it, and it is frothing in the tank. Derek Daly is into the pits. He was in sixth place when he made his stop. While up at the other end of the pits, look at this. Rick Mears, it looks like there's oil on the ground there as well. The two Penske cars out on the same lap.
Well, it looks like they had designed obsolescence in there, Paul. Both of the Penske cars dropping out at the same time with probably the same problem.
Not a happy man. There's Roger Penske. Both of his cars were out of the running. They were running 15th and 16th at the time. They have just not performed. Oil under both cars. Look at Rick Mears, frustrated, disgusted with his run. The crew come down to the head of the pits to see if they can help. It does not appear that they can. There's the gesture from Rick Mears. Peter Parrott, his crew chief, walks up. The conversation's underway now.
Apparently the car is done for the day. We could see oil under the back end of it. Rick Mears and Al Unser out. Let's go back to Bruce.
Roger, a tough day.
It sure is. I guess that both cars at the same time, we'd had a problem yesterday with the oil system pumping out the oil out of the breather, and we made a significant change we thought last night, but I could see Al had it on the back of his rear wing, and Rick said that it looked like he was losing his oil too, so that had to shut the engine down.
Both the cars, the 12s, were not up there in the front row, and that's an unusual position for Roger Penske to be in. Do you think over the last few months that you've had of your testing, you've had the PC-12 that you're trying to develop, you've also had the March that you just brought in to try to use that car, do you think maybe that you spread yourself a little bit too thin and you've got too many cars to work on and not really getting one to go real well?
Well, I guess, Bruce, you could say we're spreading ourselves too thin, but this is the first race of the season, and we're doing the best job we can. We've developed a good car. Obviously, we didn't have the right setup for here. We had not run here, either of our drivers, before. I think that I'd like to talk to you in the next couple of races, and I'll let you ask me that question again.
We'll be at Phoenix, and you know that track.
Okay, great.
All right, we'll talk to you then.
Still a remarkable problem for a veteran team like the Penske operation out of the race here in the early going. Here are two young men with a terrific battle going on. It's a fight for third place. It's Mike Chandler and Al Unser Jr. You can see that car of Chandler bouncing around that bad turn again at turn 9. They're into the hairpin. Little Al's putting plenty of pressure on him. The torque on Chandler's car. Look at him just pull away as they come off that hairpin. The torque really works down on the low end on the production engine. It takes a little bit for Al Jr.'s turbo to pick up the power and give him the opportunity to catch up. Now on the top end of the engine, yellow flags out. John Paul Jr. off the first turn. Can these fellows get by? Chandler's passed. Al Jr. has passed John Paul Jr. right up against the barrier. The left rear is off.
Yes, Paul, that's highly unusual. It could be any number of reasons why it came off. Could have been a breakage, but there he sits without a left rear.
But since they can't restart the car, they're just going to simply have to get it off the course. John Paul Jr.'s day is done. Michael Chandler, number 88, that production engine, a big throaty roar, continues to run well.
Yes, Paul, you know, this particular engine,
So good for the Penske team. What was wrong? Rick Mears is with Gary.
what was your problem, Rick?
Well, the motor let go, and I believe it's probably something in the oil system that caused it to not feed the motor properly with oil, and which in turn let the rod bearing go crank.
It's been kind of a thrash the whole weekend. You had gearbox problems in the final practice session. You couldn't even get out. It's a frustrating way, I guess, to break in a new car in a new season.
Well, yeah, it is, but hopefully we'll get all these things out of our system to begin with, and we can look forward to quicker and better things for Phoenix.
Well, Phoenix is just around the corner. It's an oval. You've had great success, the whole team there in the past. I guess that's what you grab onto right now, and you try to smile and go for it.
Well, that's all you can do. It doesn't do any good to, brood about things that have happened in the past, and that's the way our team is. No matter what happens, they bounce back, and they bounce back just as hard as before, so that's what we're going to, got to look forward to now in Phoenix.
See you next week at Phoenix.
All right, thank you very much.
Rick Mears and some of that championship attitude that keeps him out in front. Al Unser Jr., this is a stop on schedule. In fact, he may be able to make it without losing too many positions.
Oh, you can see the smoke at the back of the car there. It's hard to tell if that's out of the crankcase breather or if maybe the car is overheating and he has a little steam.
The crew doesn't seem too concerned by it as they send Al Unser Jr. back out. There went Teo Bobby and Jim Crawford by as they put John Paul Jr. on the hook. The yellow flag still flies in the first turn, and Al Unser Jr. comes out in front of the leader, Mario Andretti, and on his way to going a lap down if Mario gets past.
Well, Mario hasn't made his pit stop yet, Paul, and he's just sitting out there cruising with a lightweight car right now, but we should see him in any time.
Mario Andretti has led from the green flag. Speed World will be back right after this. We're back at the Long Beach Grand Prix. There is little Al Unser. He is currently in 5th place. Right behind him, Mario Andretti, the first place car. Andretti has still not made a stop. He is running very smoothly. He has been the leader from the green flag. Little Al in 5th, trying to get around Mario, but Mario, almost comes to a complete stop. Little Al out in front. Look at Mario slide.
Yes, he really booted it when he finally got loose there. And look at the momentum he carries here down the straightaway, catching little Al. Either little Al's car is going south
more. Mario's really still flying.
In second place right now is Michael Chandler. Teo Fabi is third. Emerson Fittipaldi is in fourth as they go around Dick Simon. Into the first turn, Mario Andretti still running so wonderfully well. Tony Southgate, Eric Broadley, they've done a wonderful job on this Lola T800. But little Al's March with its nose right under Andretti's wing. A problem with the engine off. Here comes Emerson Fittipaldi on the pit road, rolling silently toward his pit. The crew falls on the car. Fuel now pouring in. No change of tires yet. They decide the tires are fine. The problem is fuel. Can they restart the engine? Emerson Fittipaldi, they just miscalculated this stop. They apparently thought he could go further. Now they hose the car down to make sure that the alcohol doesn't ignite. And Emerson Fittipaldi starts to roll away. But the engine goes out again. So they stalled the engine. Here's Derek Daly. This is a stop-and-go penalty. He got all four wheels over the blue line on an exit. Fittipaldi still waiting. They try to fire the engine. Gary Gerald now is down there with John Paul Jr. Gary?
Still another driver out of the competition, John Paul Jr. And John, I understand you actually had a tire fall off the car. What caused it? Any idea?
No, we really don't have any idea. It was we were coming in for fuel. Sometimes those things happen. We were just going down the main straightaway and it started wiggling in the rear like a flat. I felt that before, so I radioed I had a flat. I turned into the end of the pit straight and the left rear fell off, passed me by. That's the way it goes. Racing luck.
Well, Emerson Fittipaldi finally made it back out. This man, Mario Andretti, car number 3, the Budweiser Lola, still our leader. And he has not yet stopped for fuel. In second place now is Michael Chandler. He, too, has yet to make a pit stop. Fittipaldi's pit stop coming in out of fuel cost him dearly. He is back and running on the course now at speed, but that stop was long and very costly.
Yeah, but Paul, Mario's got to make a stop pretty quick here. The officials are going to become concerned as to how much fuel that Lola really carries.
Well, the original game plan was to carry the car as far as 42 laps, so he is very close to a stop now. But Michael Chandler has not stopped either. There is Chandler, the second-place car, and John Morton, that bright red car, who, by the way, drove in the first Formula 5000 race here in Long Beach. There's Andretti.
Andretti ought to be getting ready to come into the pits here pretty quick. In fact, yes, he's pulling in now, Paul.
Andretti darts to the inside. Gary Gerald is waiting. Gary?
Here's the man who's been the leader all the way. Started on the pole, has not relinquished the lead, probably will not if this is a routine stop. First opportunity for the Newman Haas team to spring into action. They want to see if they can be as flawless as their man in the cockpit. It's routine servicing, no tires. It's fuel only for Mario Andretti. They're perfectly happy with the tire wear. They disconnect, and Mario burns rubber as he goes back on course.
Now, can Michael Chandler pick up the lead? He has to stop as well. Andretti screams out of the pit while Michael Chandler comes around the hairpin. There comes Andretti on the chicane that is the pit exit, and Michael Chandler heads into the pit. So Mario Andretti indeed maintains the lead. He has led right from the green flag. Paul Newman, his car owner, very happy with that stop. Here is Michael Chandler as their crew now makes their stop. Bobby Hatch overseeing the activities there. Mario Andretti back on the circuit. Smooth stop, smooth run. Andretti is still in the lead.
Boy, I tell you, they have really got it wired today, Paul. The car has run superbly on the racetrack. The crew worked flawlessly on the pit stop. He's back out. I don't think anybody can catch him.
So Mario Andretti, a very, very smooth run on the streets of Long Beach. A Sunday afternoon drive so far. A nice, quick, and easy stop. Andretti still dominates the race, still runs out in front. As he hops over that bump in turn 9 at Pim on the course behind him, Michael Chandler now out of the pit. Chandler has completed his stop, but Teo Fabi managed to move around during Chandler's stop, and there is Teo currently running in second place. So Teo moves up to second. He's right behind Jacques Villeneuve, by the way. Another one of those coming over to Carton from Formula 1.
Well, here Jacques pulls over. He's running in 13th, and you can see he pulls over and waves Teo Fabi by on the inside. Jacques Villeneuve is brother of the late Gilles Villeneuve, who won this race in a Formula 1 car in 1979.
So Teo Fabi back into second place. He was there earlier. He moves back into that position. Let's go down to Teo's pit. Here's Gary Gerald.
In Teo Fabi's pit with Barry Green. Barry, that first stop came earlier than we had anticipated. Was there a problem?
Yeah, Gary, it was a little surprising to us. He was having trouble, it appeared, with some of his driving apparatus, something to do with his chin strap or something like that. He came in, he was very uncomfortable and just made an adjustment. He should be all right. We still should get away with one more fuel stop. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, but Mario out there is running pretty hot. So
now, you've had an opportunity to assess the fuel consumption with that first stop. Are you concerned about this being able to make the full distance?
Oh, no, we get good consumption. We're kind of fine, but I'm pretty sure we'll be all right, Gary. All right.
Very green in the Teo Fabi pit.
Well, as a result now, most of the teams having made their stops, Al Unser Jr. has moved up and is in third place once again. He is running very smoothly on course. The car has performed well for Al as well. Now remember, this young man comes from that great Unser Racing family. Everyone in that family has raced. Almost everyone has won major championships. Certainly his uncle Bobby, his father Al, a national champion, the defending kart champion, a three-time Indianapolis winner, John.
Yes, and of course it goes back farther than that. You know, Bobby and Al's dad, Jerry, and brother Jerry, who raced at Indianapolis, and of course that Uncle Louie, who raced up Pikes Peak and was the perennial champion there.
There's the 41 car, Howdy Holmes, Mayer Motor Racing. It's a march, and it's good to see Teddy Mayer and Tyler Alexander back in IndyCar racing once again with Holmes and with Tom Sneva. Al Unser Jr., the only Unser carrying the family colors in the race now. Remember that Big Al fell out in the early going. His uncle Bobby is watching from the sideline. He retired a year ago. Little Al doing a sterling job here at the moment.
Yes, you know, this young man has a brilliant future ahead of him, Paul. And, of course, he has Rick Gallus, the car owner, and, of course, the tourist people behind him. It's going to be quite a future for this young man.
John, that's a very important part, the sponsors. Tremendous participation by the sponsors in the Indy cars the past several years. PPG Industries in there now, making it a $10 million prize fund for the season. They really do their part. They are definitely a part of the team as well. Here is little Al as he turns toward the International Hairpin, the most difficult section of the course. They have their hands full here onto the shoreline straight, and he comes to the right, heads into the pit. This is not scheduled. Al Unser Jr., this must be a problem. The crew is even surprised. They were not ready. They run toward the car, they put the fuel in, and third place goes over to Mike Chandler, that stock block in the Dan Gurney Eagle. The top three cars now, a Lola, a March, and an Eagle. So Al Unser Jr. with a very serious problem. The stop now 25 seconds long. It is more than routine. There is something wrong on Al Unser Jr.'s car. Teo Fabi is in second place, and this car, Mike Chandler, the Southern Californian, is in third place. But Mario is right behind and ready to lap him. Let's go to Al Unser's pit, Gary.
Well, Mike Arnold and the Rick Gallus crew have been swarming over the right side of the car. We have to speculate, Paul, that it's a problem with the ignition system. They've been tinkering with the little black box there in the right side pod. It looks like they may try to replace it.
A very long wait for a young man like Al Unser Jr. While the crew tries to repair that machine, he is losing miles to the race course. Here is now the third place car. Look at Mario closing right in behind. Back to the main stretch once again. If Mario gets around, he will have lapped everything but second place. But again, Chandler's stock block pulls away from that Cosworth-powered Lola. Now, as the turbo comes on the Lola, here comes Mario. Can he get around Chandler to lap him? Chandler looks to the inside, pulls wide, and lets the leader come on through. Good sportsmanship there.
Yes, it was, Paul, and it's a good sign to see a young man do that because he knows it.
Teo Fabi off the course, the second place car. Teo Fabi has come to a stop. The engine is dead on the car. Fabi says, come on, guys, give me a push. Two corner workers there trying to get him going. That shouldn't be enough manpower to get the car going. They want to push it off the course. Teo wants it back on. Now let's see if they can get Teo restarted. Remember, these cars do not have onboard starters. Will they get it going? The corner worker says, go over, give him some help. He goes over, simply picks up the hat from one of the corner workers. Now, can two guys get an Indy car rolling? It's not fast enough. That car will not start at this speed. And so they've managed simply, one of the marshals falls down after trying to start it. And Teo is in a dangerous position now, right on the edge of the line. The leader has come through. The marshal appears to be hurt now. Only one guy out there to help. He looks downstream at the
traffic, steps away. Now they don't know what to do, but Teo Fabi is dead on the side of the course. And Mario Andretti is now a lap on the entire field. John, these cars, if they're going to continue to run on road courses, they're going to have to get on board starters.
Well, Paul, I would think so, definitely. But then there's an engineering problem you have with getting the thing in. You add extra weight to the car, but it is something they definitely need to look at.
If they don't do it, they're going to lose a lot of the front runners to simple little spins like that. Just seconds ago, Michael Chandler, running in second place, pulled in for a pit stop at the same time. Allenser Jr. climbed out of his car. Out in front, it's still Mario Andretti, but now we're seeing the number 18 car. That is Jeff Brabham. And as a result of Chandler's stop, as Brabham comes onto the main stretch, he assumes second place. Mario Andretti right behind, ready to lap over in Allenser Jr.'s pit. His dad has walked down. That's Big Al with his back to us, talking to Allenser Jr. He is out of the race. Here's a surprise. The engine is off on number 88. Mike Chandler's day is done as well. Let's go to Gary Carroll.
Well, I guess there's not an awful lot that your dad or anybody else can say in a situation like this. It always has to be a great disappointment. Yeah, it is. You know, we weren't working as good as Mario was, but you know, we were holding our own, and we were, you know, right in there. So this had to happen. So I understand it had something to do with the ignition system, the battery, something. Yeah, I don't know what it was. We changed the battery, went back out. It didn't fix it. We changed the spark plug and started up right here, and that didn't fix it. So there's something internal in the engine. Well, you can forget about the road course, I guess, now, because the Oval at Phoenix is the next assignment. I imagine you're looking forward to that now. That I am. Thank you. Thank you.
A fine driver and a gentleman. Now let's go to Chandler's pit. Here's Bruce.
Michael, this has to be a tremendous disappointment. You had it going.
Well, I can't complain. Unfortunately, this track's so hard, Bruce, on gearboxes. With a 5-speed, I'm doing so many shifts. I was just experiencing a little more slop in the linkage, and something went wrong in the gearbox or the differential.
Sometimes when you have a defeat, you suffer a defeat or a loss like this, when you know things are going well, a lot of times it can be a very positive step because you know that you're there. You just have to have maybe that little bit of luck and you're going to be in there.
Well, that's true. Unfortunately, I was only halfway or so. I don't know the exact lap count, but it was a long race left, and I was experiencing a little trouble, so I just started slowing up and trying to save it. My crew did an excellent job. A beautiful stop. The car is the most well-prepared car I've ever sat in, the most beautiful, easy-to-drive race car.
What about Phoenix? I know your team has had trouble financially. You haven't been able to get the sponsors you like. You are a front runner. You're showing the car can go, and you can drive. Are you going to make it to Phoenix?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to talk to my two car owners I'm so grateful to, Mike Curb and his record company, and Dan Gurney and All-American Racers, and they're the bosses. I'm just the driver.
Well, you're a very good driver. Congratulations really on a good ride. It's a great start for the season. Hope you can get to all the races.
Thank you, Bruce.
There'd be a good place for a new sponsor in cart with Mike Chandler and Dan Gurney's team. Now Mario Andretti, there he is, number 3 leads. Emerson Fittipaldi has moved up to second place because Jeff Brabham went in and out of the pit for a fuel stop. Bobby Rahal is third and Tom Stevens fourth. But here comes Brabham moving from 5th place into 4th and getting around Tom Steva.
Tom Steva has not been with us all day, but he's been running a very steady race, Paul. Looks like he could figure high here if he finishes.
Well, Speed World will continue with its coverage of the Long Beach Grand Prix right after these messages from your local station. We're back at the Long Beach Grand Prix. Mario Andretti, right from the green flag to this moment, continues to lead the race, but with a fine drive. Tom Steva, who has not been good on road courses in the past, is really showing his style, now running in 5th place. Here's a charge for 3rd. Bobby Rahal currently occupies it, but that's Jeff Brabham down to the inside, and Brabham goes into 3rd. That's Emerson Fittipaldi, car number 47. He is in 2nd place right now. He comes up behind the 14th place car, Gordon Johncock, car number 20. Bobby Rahal comes off the straight into the pit. This is a routine stop for Rahal to go to work on the car. There is your 3rd place machine, Jeff Brabham, who has fallen back in the field, now worked his way back up. Mario Andretti is still out in front, running very smoothly. He is a lap on everyone in this field now. now, the dominant power at the Long Beach Grand Prix. Number 18, that is Jeff Brabham's machine. We've got a problem down in the third turn. That's Howdy Holmes and Bobby Rahal. Rahal just came out of the pit, and Howdy Holmes is right up. It looks like they touched. The engines are dead on both cars. So a problem in the third turn, and Andretti still running smooth. And without onboard starters on Holmes and Rahal's car, their day should be complete as well. A perfect day for this man, Mario Andretti. Let's go down to his pits and Gary Gerald.
Well, this has got to be a terrific feeling. You got such a lead. You're going to say, slow these guys down a little bit.
I know he's going too fast.
Does it scare you?
Well, it's just, I don't think we have to go that fast now, and I just hope he's saving the equipment.
Any concern on your part, on the crew's part, about the fuel consumption? Is there enough?
No, there's no problem at all.
Paul Newman, a happy owner as he gets back into the pit to watch the progress of his car. These two machines, their day is done. There goes Mario Andretti safely past. He is driving a very careful race. We'll be right back.
Driver. You know, more than 50% of all fatal accidents in this country involve drivers who have been drinking. Driving and drinking don't mix. Please remember, your life is your responsibility.
The preceding message brought to you by Championship Auto Racing Teams.
On the streets of Long Beach, Paul Page with Johnny Rutherford, Gary Carroll, and Bruce Jenner. There's your leader, right from the green flag, Mario Andretti. A smooth performance today. Some people have had their problems, though. The only contact incident in the race, Bobby Rahal and Howdy Holmes. Now let's go down to Bruce Jenner.
Bobby, it seems like you're out there just trying to stay out of trouble and stay in the hunt. You were moving up because everybody else was dropping out, but what happened?
Well, we had suffered a bad tire before the race. We had to put on some tires. They had a lot of laps, and the first fuel tank, the car didn't handle it at all, and it was just hanging on. And the second set of tires we put on were just, the car we were going second lap quicker, I guess, and just with low boost because we were having some fuel problems or concerns, and the car was just running perfectly, and came out of that pit stop, and I just got...
Did Howdy hit you or what?
Oh, yeah, I got hit from behind. In a very tight corner, there's no passing, and I think he, just, I don't know, brain fade or something.
How are you feeling? I know you've had mono and you've been sort of wondering how you're going to do in the car, but how did you feel?
I felt great. Really, it was getting a little bit warm in there, but, I kept seeing P4, P3, and I knew that there was no question I was going to make it. It was just...
Took right behind. Jeff Brabham is closing down and now chasing Fittipaldi. This is a fight for second place. Mario Andretti well out front, a lap ahead of second place. But Fittipaldi is now desperately trying to hold off young Jeff Brabham. Remember, Fittipaldi, twice a world champion. Jeff Brabham, the son of Jack Brabham, former world driving champion. Now, on the short straight, this is a good passing area. Brabham's going to give it a try. This is about the third or fourth time we've seen somebody pass turn 9, Paul. He's really got it hooked up. Just pull up the power on the straightaway, duck inside, hit the brakes, and Jeff Brabham is now in second place. Let's go to the pits again and hear Howdy Holmes' side of the accident.
I just talked to Bobby Rahal, and he says, Howdy must have had a brain fade or something. He says he got right into the back of my car. What happened?
Bobby's having a brain fade. He came out of the pit. Been in there for an extensive period of time. Daly and I are coming down the front straightaway, having a dice. We could see him giving Bobby the blue flag since even with his chicane, not even on the court. Daly got to the first corner before Bobby did, and then Bobby went around the corner, and then I went and followed Bobby through. And then he was going real slow. He just came out of the pit. We went around. I followed him around turn 2, and there's a short straightaway, and then next is a right-hand turn. He was going so slow, I moved over on the right. Wasn't any contention at all. It seemed very obvious to me that he was going to let me go on the inside. I went on the inside, and he came, and we hit, and that's it.
You have to be pleased with you have to be pleased with really your performance. You really drove very well. You're up. It is the beginning of the season. It is a long season, but it wasn't a bad start.
No, but it's, here we sit in the pit lane. What the hell good is that,
Yeah, well, we got Phoenix coming up.
Thanks.
Howdy Holmes, disappointed and angry. Tom Steva, car number 4, the Texaco Star, rolls out of the pits. He's completed his last stop of the day, right on schedule. He stays in 4th place. Here is Emerson Fittipaldi, a routine stop as well. They give the car a hosing down with water, make sure it doesn't catch fire, and he spins the tires as he comes out of the pits. Jim Crawford, currently in 5th place. A wonderful drive for this young man. His first IndyCar start. Only one car left to stop. Mario Andretti. We'll be back. The driver led from the pole all the way to the checker. It was back in 1975 when A.J. Foyt did it in a qualifier at Ontario Motor Speedway. Mario Andretti is trying to duplicate that feat today, but he still has yet another pit stop and quite a distance to go. Can he get it done? The crew has laid out the equipment. Mario Andretti on his way to his last pit stop. As he comes to a stop, we go to Gary Gerald.
And Paul, this crowd dearly loves Mario Andretti. Make no never mind that he's led from the opening green. He won here in 77. He clearly is the favorite today. It should be routine servicing on what would be his final stop. It'll be a 3-tire change for Andretti. They top him off with fuel. They have the luxury of taking just as much time as they want. And now the indication they're going to go for a full 4-tire change. Some water thrown in to dilute a bit of fuel that was spilled, and very cautiously, very methodically, this crew completing its work now for Andretti. He still maintains the huge advantage, and he should be off the jack momentarily. Andretti will burn away in his final stop here at Long Beach.
Talk about a well-disciplined team. They took their time. They got the job done. All 4 tires, the first tire change that he's made. Jeff Brabham was able to pull on to the leader lap. He is in 2nd place, but he got his lap back from Andretti. So Jeff Brabham is running on the leader lap, and should anything happen to Andretti, then Brabham will move out in front.
But that puts Jeff Brabham about 63 seconds behind Andretti, Paul, and he's going to have to do some tall driving to make that up. Nonetheless, he's done a magnificent job today, and of course, his dad, Black Jack Brabham, or Sir Jack Brabham, was the guy that brought rear-engine race cars to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in 1961.
2 weeks ago on Speed World, we showed you that Cooper Climax that Jack Brabham brought to Indianapolis and started the rear-engine revolution. Now with Mario Andretti well out. Years ago, 1966, Mario Andretti led from the pole position to the checkered flag 3 times in a row at Milwaukee, at Langhorne, and at Atlanta. It looks like he's going to do it again. A flawless performance, just about a lap and a half to go.
Paul, I tell you, drivers dream. I can tell you for sure, drivers dream about days like this. And Mario is no exception. He's had a fantastic day. The car has performed flawlessly. The crew got him in and out in rapid time, and he's run a smooth race. The car is excellent. Mario's done a proper job with it. Boy, this is one that'll go into the books for sure.
A dream come true for Andretti. 2 road course victories in kart last season in the Lola T700. This is the new car, the 800, and it seems to be absolutely unbeatable. He is starting off the 1984 kart season in fine style. This young man, too, with a magnificent run. Twice before in kart, he's had 2nd places. Jeff Brabham is in 2nd place right now. Nick Pinoro has the white flag. A little over a mile and a half for Mario Andretti. Brabham in 2nd place. Steva in 3rd. Steva's apparently done some practicing on road courses over the winter. But look at Andretti.
Paul, Mario, there's not a lot you can say about that. He's run all day in this kind of a fashion. It looks like the car has been on rails.
There's Jeff Brabham still in 2nd place, about a minute and 5 seconds back. Young Mike Andretti stayed in the fight. He's currently running in 10th place despite his early problems with the wing. Once he got the wing fixed, he really started to fly, but he was already too far back. Brabham's car falters just a bit. Here's Tom Steva. Tom went back to driving school over the winter, learned how to handle these road courses. It paid off. He's currently running in 3rd. There is Crawford and Fittipaldi right behind your 4th and 5th position cars. And Crawford with just a wonderful run. Now Mario Andretti, he's being ever so careful. Double clutching every shift up and down. Taking ever so much care of this race car. A turn to the right. Off of the Seaside Way stretch. The 10th turn, the crowd already going for good with a victory for Andretti. His 2nd here in Long Beach. He heads for the International Hairpin. Listen into the crowd. Andretti accelerates off that last turn. There's the checkered flag for Mario Andretti. 55,000 people cheer for Andretti, his first kart victory at Long Beach. Well, Paul, I tell you, there's mayhem down in the pits of Mario Andretti right now. Of course, they persevered. They worked so hard last year with a brand-new race car. They went home and built a new one this winter. They've done a lot of testing. There you see Carl Haas with the headset. There's even hugging and kissing going on. A whole lot of handshaking, a whole lot of hugging. There's Jack McDonough, one of the sponsors, coming in to greet Paul Newman, and I can tell you it's a wonderful feeling. Here's the question mark, though, a little over a minute behind. Jeff Brabham in second place. The victory already belongs to Andretti, but will Brabham hang on for second? His crew is concerned about fuel. A number of the teams are. Andretti has already slowed down, but Brabham is still under power, still trying to pull out that second place. If he does it, it will be his third time in kart, and he's slowing. Derek Bailey comes around. Brabham, the engine has sputtered. The car slowing to a stop. Will he be able to make it to the line? Here comes Andretti. Andretti has completed. Now will Brabham make it? Look at the car. He pulls it over to the right. It's rolling to a stop. Will he make the line? It surges with power. Now will he do it? The team watches. And Jeff Brabham finishes in second place. Oh, what a heart stopper, Paul. Boy, the car was stuttering. I know it's out of fuel. It's got to be. But what a tense moment when he stopped up there in the hairpin. Already his visor is up. He waves to the crowd. Listen to him cheer. He won't make it around again. Jeff Brabham completely out of fuel and almost didn't make it to the line. The day belongs to this man, away from Mario Andretti. Well, Paul, with this victory, Mario ties Al Unser for second in career victories with 37. A magnificent job by Andretti, his crew, in fact, all of the teams here today, and a wonderful job by the kart officials who have come to this race for the first time and done a spectacular job to get it done. In just a moment, we'll talk with Mario. Long Beach is now history. Fifth place was Emerson Fittipaldi, Jim Crawford in fourth. In third, Tom Sneva, Jeff Brabham was second, and our winner, Mario Andretti. He is now with Gary Gerald.
The comment from Paul Newman to Mario Andretti just a moment ago, a Sunday afternoon drive on the streets of Long Beach. I don't mean to belittle the effort, Mario, but you made it look so easy. And it's got to be rare when a victory comes with such ease.
Yes, it's rare, and that's why I'll enjoy it. Because the car was just perfect. I think today I felt that I could really control the pace of anyone. At least once we got going at the beginning, we got an idea who was going to be the contender, and felt like I could really handle it. So from there on, I felt if the car stays together, we'll be all right. And the car just ran absolutely perfect.
Were there any moments of concern at all as far as traffic? Here's Carl Haas, the other owner, with Paul Newman, extending congratulations. Were there any moments of concern, any close calls, near misses?
No, it was a perfect afternoon, really. I think the quality of driving, as far as I'm concerned, was fantastic. In traffic, lapping cars, everyone, I think it was good, clean racing. Just that I didn't have a lot to do there. My main concern was really to keep the car in one piece, and again, it just never gave me any indication that there would be any other way, but just one of those things, and I'm so thankful to the Budweiser team because this time they're giving me quite a piece to work with.
1977, it was the Formula One car. I don't know, you probably couldn't hear the crowds today, but every time you came into the pits, they were on their feet, they were roaring their approval. It's a great boost as you go on now to Phoenix.
Oh, it's beautiful to feel that support, and I always felt that I got it here, and this one makes it all worthwhile.
Congratulations again. Mario Andretti, victory lane at Long Beach. Back up to you, Paul.
Second place goes to Jeff Brabham, and he is with our Bruce Jenner. Bruce?
Jeff, that's what I say. Just making it to the finish line. You dead. Have you ever gone across the finish line dead like that? Run out of gas?
No, it was really close. I was probably lucky. We were running the whole race on 7 cylinders, and the engine really wasn't going at all. So I just had to drive really hard in the corners and try and make up for it. And probably the engine running on 7 cylinders was a blessing for us. Maybe we wouldn't have finished otherwise.
That's true. Conserving a little fuel, that's one way to do it. your best finish, Graco's best finish. It's a good day for you guys. Great start for the season.
Yeah, thank you. I'd just like to thank the crew. You know, I just drove this car just 10/10 the whole way through every corner, just the whole race long. And, you know, I had confidence in the car and everything, and I'm just glad we're here.
All right, well, congratulations. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Fifth place, his first kart race, Emerson Fittipaldi.
Emerson, Memo, two times a world champion in F1. You're now part of the IndyCar set. You've got to be encouraged the way this day unfolded.
Yeah, I was very pleased when I was second, and then I broke second gear. I was running most of the races, no second gear, and the second gear used all the time around. I had a big problem.
Now, though, you go away from the road course, you think about the oval at Phoenix. That becomes a whole new situation for you and your team.
It will be much harder, yeah, for sure.
We look forward to seeing you. Thank you.
And now you've met the top 5 finishers at Long Beach. The champagne comes out and they spray the crowd. A terrific day with kart in Southern California.
Well, Paul, it's a fantastic first race for kart at Long Beach. And, of course, congratulations to all of the winners.
And having a great time on the victory podium, the champagne sprays Mario Andretti. The first time in the history of kart, a flag-to-flag win, and he takes the lead in the national championship points. This is Paul Page for Johnny Rutherford, Gary Gerald, and Bruce Jenner. So long from Long Beach, and congratulations to Mario Andretti.